This year, 26 AD, Tiberius wholly steps away from imperial duties. The Romans clash with an uprising of Thracian tribesmen, and the Red Eyebrows rebels fall on hard times. Welcome to the Yearly Histories, where we will highlight the major events that take place in the Common Era, year by year. Last year, we saw Sejanus terrorizing his political opponents, the death by strangulation of the Gangxi Emperor, and the ascension of Emperor Guangwu of Han, signaling the restoration of the Han dynasty. However, the Red Eyebrows rebels remain in the former capital of Chang'an. We kick off the year with the Praetorian prefect Sejanus going on the offensive against the nobility of Rome. According to Tacitus, he sets his sights on Agrippina the Elder, the widow of Germanicus, and the mother of the two adolescent heirs to the empire. He sends agents under the guise of friendship with warnings that poison is being prepared for her, and that she ought to avoid interacting with her father-in-law, Emperor Tiberius. Her resulting erratic behavior causes Tiberius to believe that she is going mad. At this point, Tiberius departs the capital of Rome on a trip to Campania in the countryside to dedicate temples to Jupiter and Augustus. His final destination, though, is to the island of Capri, where he plans on leaving his imperial duties behind almost entirely and residing in his splendid villa. However, he does not officially abdicate his position of emperor. Rome, in the meantime, is left in the grip of the commander of the Praetorian Guard, Lucius Aelius Sejanus. With Tiberius going completely into solitude, Sejanus is now free to pursue whichever endeavors he desires in his pursuit for more and more power. Emperor Tiberius's only remaining path to correspondence with Rome is through Sejanus, who benefits immensely from controlling almost all of the information that comes and goes from Capri. Does Tiberius ever plan on returning, or does he feel comfortable allowing Sejanus to head the empire for the remainder of his life? His tendency to view Sejanus in a positive light may come back to bite him. To the east, an uprising led by Thracian tribesmen breaks out. The kingdom of Thrace is ruled by the Sapian tribe, who have been loyal to Rome for decades, which the rebels are disgusted by. Thracian people have been residing in the area for thousands of years by this point, being a constant thorn in the side of the Greeks and Romans. Tacitus describes the rebelling tribesmen as unusually fierce due to their hard lives residing in mountainous terrain. Quote, "The rebellion had its origin in their scornful refusal to endure levies and to supply our armies with their bravest men. Even native princes they would obey only according to their caprice, and if they sent aid, they used to appoint their own leaders and fight only against their neighbors. A rumor had then spread itself among them that dispersed and mingled with other tribes, they were to be dragged away to distant countries." Unquote. Pompeius Sabinus, who is currently the governor of the combined provinces of Moesia, Achaia, and Macedonia, is tasked with taking down these wily opponents. Sabinus advances on the tribesmen with his army along with reinforcements from the king of Thrace, Romana-Talces II. He forces the first small wave to scatter and sets up camp. They eventually meet up with the main force, and Sabinus sends forth his archers, who pepper the rebels thoroughly without losing a man. The Romans send out a sortie and cause the tribesmen to flee. Sabinus now advances on the enemy's main force and sets up camp once again. The Thracian tribesmen send out two detachments, one against the Romans and one against the forces of King Romana-Talces II, who have been plundering the surrounding area. The Romans easily repulse this attack, but the allied Thracians are distracted elsewhere, looting the area. They get too complacent, and at night they are set upon by an ambush of the rebel tribesmen. The Roman loyalists are massacred and mocked for betraying their people and doing the bidding of a foreign empire. Sabinus immediately marches against the Thracian tribesmen and sets siege on them where they are fortified. He cuts off their food and water supply, which eventually leads most of them to surrender. The remaining headstrong rebels attempt one last assault to dislodge the besieging Romans, but it fails, and they are forced to surrender. briefly moving south to Judea, where a new prefect is appointed to govern the province on behalf of the Roman Empire. His name is Pontius Pilate, and he comes to Judea at a time where earth-shattering events are on the horizon. The Red Eyebrows, who at one time were the most dangerous rebel force in China, have been occupying Chang'an since they entered the ransacked city the previous year, and are falling on hard times. By March this year, they have consumed the majority of the supplies from the surrounding area, and are forced to venture out further to find anything they can. They loot the imperial tombs and make their way westward to the sparsely populated area north of the Wei River. Once arriving, the worn-out contingent is crushed by a local warlord named Wei Ao, and then further decimated by early frost and snowstorms while they are licking their wounds. Those that remain are forced to limp back to famine-struck Chang'an, while Emperor Guangwu of Han consolidates his rule from Luoyang. Moving now to Korea, where the kingdom of Goguryeo looks to expand their borders yet again. Their king Daemusin of Goguryeo continues his effort to advance the importance of his kingdom, and annexes the minor states of Gaima and Guda to the south. His ambitions don't look to be ending here, but with a resurgent Han dynasty on his border, he may have to consider that threat in the future. We will leave this year, 26 AD, with Emperor Tiberius setting off to seclude himself on the island of Caprae, Pompeius Sabinus crushing a revolt of Thracian tribesmen, and the Red Eyebrows rebels finding themselves in dire straits. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to be notified when the next iteration of the yearly histories will be released. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next year in 27 AD to continue the fascinating stories of the world of antiquity and cover its major events.